What's up, guys? On this episode of Build Dad Build, we are going to answer some questions you guys had. One of the big questions that was asked on my video on how to burn wood was what kind of wood that was. That wood was pine, like this. Pine and cedar are normally the easiest to do a torchwood finish to. They have wide grain patterns. They have a good variation of soft cellulose material and hard cellulose material, so you can kind of scrape out that inside and get that contrast. So what we're going to do today is to see what torchwood finish looks like on different kinds of wood. So I just went to a local big box store and picked up just the readily available woods that they had there. So here's what we got. We got good old pine. We have red oak. We have poplar, which I've never seen poplar that dark. Normally it looks like this. But this had an interesting grain pattern, so I picked it up. And then from a previous build, I had some leftover cedar fence pickets. Traditional Shou Sugi Ban is done on cedar, and I think it's like specifically like Japanese cedar, but I don't know what the difference is between that and regular cedar. But we'll see how it turns out on just cedar. I made some planters with this not too long ago, but I didn't go with a real deep burn on them. So we'll do a deep burn on these and see what it looks like. We're also going to introduce a new tool. I used this in my chair video, which I'll link up there. I think it's there, right? It's just a nylon brush on a drill. It makes removing char a lot easier, a lot faster. It makes a huge mess. I'm going to use the cordless drill for this project, but I would say if you're doing something like the chairs, to use a corded drill if you have one. I actually fried a battery using it. So, okay, that being said, let's light some stuff on fire. Alright, that's first burn and first brush. So we've got your pine that's been scraped, which looks pretty much like expected, pretty much like what we're used to. And we've got pine to a gator finish, which is kind of the before product. Next we've got red oak. Now the red oak, it looks alright. It's not great. There's just not a whole, I mean, red oak's hard. It's just not, there's not a whole lot of soft material to remove. So it gets a different kind of texture to it. And then here's one where I just kind of left it black. I didn't even brush this one. All right, next poplar. Poplar just turns black. I guess it's just the tight grain, but it just literally, like as soon as it starts to get a burn, it's just black. But I think the best candidate for like a gator finish is poplar for that same reason, because you're not picking up a whole lot of the grain, so you just get that gator pattern. And then we have my two cedar boards, which I did kind of the same thing with both of them. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back for a second burn on some of these boards. I had several comments where people said that they weren't getting the finish they wanted, and they wanted to know if they weren't burning it enough, they weren't scraping it enough. The thing is, if you don't get the look that you're going for the first time, you can always burn it again. Also, if you're real close, if you're 90%, let's say that your darks just aren't as dark as you'd like them, you can always take a little torch. That's the reason I have this little torch with the little end, is to just come in and just kind of pick up those ridges and make those a little blacker. So let's get to work. Okay, second burn done, and then I brushed where I was gonna brush and didn't brush where I wasn't gonna brush. I don't know how much of that I'm gonna show. It gets a little boring after a while. Again, I don't know how easily this translates onto the camera, but there is some good ridges in here. A little bit of schmutz, but there's some good ridges where that soft cellulose material dug out. Next we have the two pieces of oak. One I really like. So if you just hit oak with the torch, And don't touch it with the brush. It just gets this nice, dark, even black color. Very sexy, if you know what I mean. Now, if you take the brush to it, it's decent. It does get a little bit of texture, but I don't know how much the texture really adds. So the black one's probably just gonna get a coat of poly. We'll probably throw a little stain on this one to see if we can pop it out a little bit, do anything funky, if you will. Next we have Poplar. And honestly, as far as torched wood finish, Poplar kind of sucks. It just gets kind of blah. Like I said, I mean, maybe if I put like some simple finish on that, it'll pick up the green. I don't know if I'm super hopeful on that. However, it does gator really, really good. I don't even know if you're gonna be able to see that in the garage with the light. I'll probably just put a coat of poly on it for the video, mainly because I don't have any resin, but that would probably like impregnate really well with resin and be a much more solid piece. Evan and Caitlin did a really good video on using some penetrating epoxy. I will link that in the description down below. But future project, deep penetrating resin. And finally, we have Cedar. And I can see why Cedar is the Shou Sugi Ban wood of choice. You can scrape it and get these really good ridges and get that good grain pattern because it does have soft and hard cellulose material, but it also gators like a mofo. It just looks really good. Cedar. So only got one thing left to do. You know what that is. Finish them!
Finish him!
Alright guys, so what's worse than your neighbor mowing their lawn while you're trying to film? When your neighbor is cleaning their carpets and they have that truck down there that just runs. Yay! So what we have is our results. But first I just wanted to mention the brush that was on my drill yesterday. The orange one is kind of the medium grit. There's 3 different grits. There's a gray, which is more aggressive, and there is a blue, which is not as aggressive. The gray is really good if you want to really like kind of dig out some material. The orange is probably my best all around, and I don't really use the blue one. And again, if I didn't say before, I'll link to those brushes in the description down below if you want to check them out. But now let's talk about those finishes. With the pine, I wanted to experiment with just some different colors that I haven't used before. So I did a green or an Incredible Hulk that's gonna pick up on camera. It has some really good depth to it. Next we have the orange stain. When I put this on, it didn't look very orangey, but it definitely dried. It definitely dried with some more of that orange color to it. Next we have the oak. So one of the oaks I burnt again, brushed again, and it didn't really do it much justice. So I hit it with some of the Sunbleached stain. I was really kind of hoping to pick up some more of the contrast in there. You definitely get that nice grain in there with the white highlights. So the other piece of oak, I just put a coat of poly on it. So that's the one that's just the jet black. I would say out of all of the woods, this stayed the flattest. I wasn't really worried about them warping too much, but the oak, even with high heat, stayed relatively flat. So next we have the Poplar gator finish. I think it looks pretty good. You get that nice, you know, alligator texture to it. Then let's move on to the cedar. I went ahead and hit one of the cedar pieces with some simple finish. Came out pretty good. It has a little bit less contrast than I would like, but it looks really rich. The surprise smash hit that I even did off camera because it was just a test. I didn't think it was gonna look very good, and it ended up looking pretty awesome. Is the other piece of cedar. I took it down to gator, and then I hit it with the Sunbleached. Check that out. Now for the one that didn't do so hot. And that's the Poplar that I tried to hit with the simple finish. Even simple finish couldn't help it. Blah. It didn't go black very well. It didn't pull out the grain very well. So you guys that haven't followed me very long or at all, well, if it's at all, you should definitely hit that subscribe button. Simple finish makes everything better. So if you have a piece of wood that just it's just not popping, if you hit with a little simple finish, normally it does wonders. But man, this Poplar is just not loving it. So I gotta say, on the Poplar, except maybe for just the gator, Gator doesn't look too bad. But say if you're gonna go gator, I would do some cedar. That looks just awesome. All right, guys, if you have any questions about what we did here today, leave them in the comments down below. I'll try to get you an answer.
Daddy, bring in the bait.
Well, I think next I'm gonna make a table, baby, with a Punisher skull inlay.
Table?
Yes, a table. If you like what I'm doing here, hit that like button. If you haven't yet, subscribe for more content. And until next time, we'll be here holding the fort down. Have a good one.